Slurpers and 5 Fears are ready to try and duke it out in a cash out, and then follow that up with a 3 versus 3. Just a best of...
It's going to be tough for sure, but they played that last match really well, considering how many like third parties and just absolute mosh pits there were on a lot of the... Yeah, coming right back into Bernal, Dianic. Sorry, I'm just excited about this. This one is going to be crazy. I think this one is going to be even faster paced because Bernal, it's so much more open and horizontal than Fortune Stadium was.
Oh, absolutely. And that just makes it so much more beautiful, right? You mentioned it. Open, it's closer. We also have these... the houses, which just create a lot more different factors. Shotguns, close range, melee weapons are going to be so good. But also, we know Pike, for example, could be used now. Got a little bit of a buff as well when it comes to the headshot percentage. So many things that do apply on this map, which have been changed in the recent new season. But that can be talked about another day. The first fight's already happening. Skywalkers are now facing Boba Slurper. And Boba Slurper will already take out the first, the second one to fall as well. Make it maybe soon the third. There is the light waiting around the corner. Patrick trying to stay alive as an invis, unfortunately, will be found and nearly, and there we go, also wiped. Skywalker's now wiped out as the first team of the entirety of this game, while Boba Slurper were successful, and the plug is also very near, 70 meters only.
Yeah, and one thing I think is worth pointing out, too, that's kind of interesting to me is every heavy in this lobby is on winch except for Yerg, who swapped over to mesh. Which is very interesting to me. And also, we're seeing no melee weapons yet. I thought for sure we'd at least be seeing a sledge come through. But I mean, it is very hard to make work, especially in these very high, fast-paced, competitive settings. But there's still plenty of time to come through. We might see some of those picks happen. But, yeah, you're on that mesh shield now. Everybody else pretty much the same with a dash and an invis on every single team, except for we've got Skywalkers, you know, with that heavy, medium, light. Petrick staying on that invis, being the solo light on that team there. And now we're just waiting for some of these fights to break through as both of these cash boxes are getting ready to close in on the halfway point here.
Ooh, 5 Fears have been found in the corner. Special Force, they had a good nose to find where they are. They found themselves now also being one man down. Nuok was found in the meanwhile, but 5 Fears, they will remain in the building. Right now, the cash out is also, there's an attempt for it to be stolen away from the side of, I believe, Special Force. There we go. No, it was even by Skywalkers. It's a third team on the box. They got themselves the steal, and Boba Slurper, they're completely left alone to be ignored on the other side of the map, while 3 teams are fighting it out only in the first 8 cash out box.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that keeps happening. Even on Bernal, when it's so easy to fly across the map here, I guess maybe a little bit less easy when you don't have that dash on the side, but Nagos taking out Nuwalk there. Carnifex is going to take out Q. 5 Fears putting in a lot of work in these fights here, but it is still in control of Special Force there. We do have Treason hopping on it now. Is he going to be able to stick it through? Not quite. Special Force is actually going to be able to hold on to this, and I don't think anybody else is going to be able to hop on this now. It's still fight breaking out as everybody's going through this gateway here. Nagos making it out with his life. Carnifex and Tree them both down. He's going to have to make his way, I think, across this map, probably force them to coin, but Special Force, they are going to hold on to that point, Dianic.
Oh, they got the SWAT once, and my god, that was a bit of a juicy one. We saw every single team, even Boba Slurper, trying to participate. They didn't like to be left all out alone of this whole team fight. They had a few of the teammates, especially Nigerian Cyborg, they were all the way on the other side trying to, you know, manipulate what's actually going on. Even right now, we can see Newark trying to find some kills, but Boba Slurper, of course, they're focusing their attention to the next cash out. They're really good at keeping the cash out under their control when they have the plug or the steal, but attacking is what their weakest point is. So as long as they can plug this, they're in good hands for sure. But there's already a team, Special Force, waiting on the C cash out, and there's not only one but 2, maybe one in the distance as well, waiting for Boba Slurper to transport this vault.
Yeah, and Cyborg there rocking that V9S with the dash as well. Gonna go ahead and heal up Palma just a little bit there as Nigiri is still down. These boxes are not getting plugged yet. They can't even really go back to grab that box. But they are going to go ahead and grab Nigiri's body. Make sure they hold on to that coin. And now, just kind of slowing down a little bit as these teams really, especially Special Force and Boba Slurpers, really don't want to lose any of the money that they've already picked up. But Nuwalk Finding a kill on the Cyborg there. Puts them in a pretty good spot to be able to plug this box here. Monster Pig is going to finish off Palma there as well. Now it's only Nagiri. And I think, yeah, he's going to make the decision to go ahead and just back up, which means Special Force is finally going to be able to make that plug.
At least the first box has been plugged. The second one is already on its way, as we can see in the distance. Unfortunately, Bulbasaur to find themselves one man down. Skywalkers, on the other hand, are two men down. Are finding... Never mind, gonna be wiped in a meanwhile. 5 Fizz now gonna be finding that plug as they wipe Skywalkers also out. That's a great start for 5 Fizz, considering they weren't able to really secure the first box under their control. But again, Bulbasaur, they're a great team when it comes to the defense and controlling, but their offense has some vulnerability and isn't the greatest at times. And already we can see the first one's going to be traded out immediately. Bulbasaur fighting in Special Force in that corner. York's going to take a lot of damage. He's going to fall as well. Back up with the side of Cyborg, and they're now a two-man advantage. They might be able to get this under their control, and then all they got to do is control it, and that's what they're best at.
Yeah, that is very true. Monster Pig was able to get Nuwok's body up, though. I don't know if they're going to be able to grab Yurg, and Yurg already only has 1 coin left. But there is lots of time for them to come back and retake this here. But it looks like we've got another team coming in as well. So we're going to see how this ends up playing out, because it looks like we got Skywalkers joining the fight as well. But look at this. They're playing this really smart here, slowing down, letting these teams kind of fight it out a little bit, waiting until they see some more kills go through before they come in and start kind of changing things up a little bit. Looks like here they come, finally coming in now as Monster Pig ends up going down to Q. Bulbasaurpers have now heard this, and they're backing up just a little bit as Nuwok gets the last one left alive on Special Force. Bulbasaurpers, they are holding on to this. Looks like they're going to go back and take high ground, maybe, but there's not a lot of time at this point, so they're playing really close to it. And look at Palma just kind of hiding behind that barricade there with that KS. He's going to go ahead and move that barricade over a little bit, and here they come, finally making a move for the point. Skywalker's there, but the Pyromines end up going through. There's so much fire on this Q. Is going to try to winch it back over towards him, but that fire is still on it, and he's taking some shots from behind as well as Cyborg picks up a double kill. Q is going to be able to stop him from getting that triple, but it doesn't matter because Bulbasaurpers got that money.
They got the money, and also they got the wipe on top of it. Look at these Skywalkers. They tried to make an attempt. 5 Fizz. My boy Special Force was right there, but they weren't quite able to do anything. Unfortunately, the two teams were trying to take the cash out. In this case, Skywalkers and Special Force, they had an early fight which wasn't quite needed, and Bulbasaur, all they gotta do is wait, and they played it perfectly. Even though we saw Cyborg lose early on and get eliminated, it didn't really matter. He was on a defense coin, was able to get back in, and then created a pinch onto the cash out. Very good played from the side of Bulbasaur. Patience, slow defense. Cash out is what matters, and again, there's a reason why they're so good at it. And there's the next plug on the last phase here. 18k. Special Force will make the first attempt as they plug cash out number 8. B on the other side, 6 is being open as well, but from Skywalkers, and we can see the teams already rotating around as Skywalkers being again contested by the side of 5 Fizz.
Yeah, and Bulbasaurpers have to be here because they really don't want this one to end up getting doubled as well, because if that double ends up going to anybody else, they are going to get knocked out of that. But Q taking so much damage from Treason there with that LH1 up on top. Nagos is going to take out, or sorry, Nagos took out Q. Treason ended up taking out 1,000,000. But they're going to try to stop that box from moving over there. And the timer is counting down on the cash out that Special Force holds onto. And it looks like they don't really have anybody to fight yet, as everybody else is really kind of worried about that box that isn't even plugged yet.
Oh yeah, but 30 seconds to plug in, and for a lot of these teams, that second box could be quite crucial. But from the side of Bulbasaur, but they want to keep this one away. As long as they can find themselves in that first or second place, they're going to move to that 3v3, which winner then is going to be moving to that third stage of today. So as long as they make sure this one ain't plugged, they're in a good position. It would be quite hard for 5 Fizz to really overtake them, and somehow they keep on getting away with it. Now standing and sitting in a corner. It's 5 seconds before the cash out B is gonna be wiped and gonna be taken away. And there we go, the first attempt on the steal, while meanwhile on cash out is happening, and it's going to be done from the side of Skywalkers. They got the attempt successfully. Unfortunately, they're gonna lose and find themselves some players Under the opponent team, my apologies, Skywalkers, they haven't lost a singular member. But there we go, the next team is now coming in. And all of a sudden, since there's only 17 seconds left, and there's so much more teams who want to get themselves into those first 2 places, we can see the attempt of steals in that corner keeps on going along. But Bomber Slurper, they have a few things to say. They want to stay on top of this. And they got themselves so many more kills and secured first place.
Wow. That is not at all how I thought that one was going to end there. And it's just absolutely insane. But Boba Slippers, I mean, you guys got your predictions on that one. They seemed pretty in control of pretty much that entire match, Dianic.
It's, here again, absolutely interesting and a bit surprising to see, not gonna lie. Skywalkers had a big difference. They played a lot more, I would say, reserved in the first match that we saw. It's a bit difficult to say, but I definitely want to hear what Jerry has to say because he knows Skywalkers quite a lot. And what actually happened there? Skywalkers, a bit surprising to see where they ended up, Jerry, no?
Well, it was just a bit wild at the end. As you can see, it's 2 team wipes right before the end are basically what determined it, right? We saw, was it Special Force and the side of Five Fears being wiped out right at the death, and the tallies were just so close. But Skywalkers, like you say,